Hey everybody, this is Stephen Luke here, and I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate your interest in my Split Test Monkey bonus, and that way you can get a better idea about why you need to be split testing literally in your business. And if you're not, then you're really gambling with your strategy, and rather than creating a winning on the target strategy, you're kind of having a hit and miss strategy and hoping that you're going to make sales. So really by split testing, and when I started doing split testing in my own business, I realized that, wow, this is very, very crucial, but often a big step that a lot of people miss. So I don't want you to miss that step, and I don't want you to assume that the landing page or the website or the squeeze page that you create is going to automatically convert, because it's frustrating. You create all these pages and you wonder why in the world they are not converting. So now that you understand why split testing is important, I'm going to show you the Split Test Monkey in action. But before I do that, I want to walk you around and I want to show you some live action of it actually working. So the first split test, of course, is the element test, which is the A/B dynamic test. And what it does is it allows you to change the elements on a page. So say, for example, I want to just run this sales page, and I'm going to send all my traffic to this particular sales page. And within the sales page, we have specific elements that change. Like maybe we want to test the headlines, or maybe we want to test the images that we use. Another thing that runs in the background is that if you access the URL, you're going to see something like the headline. You're going to see a different headline than everybody else. And even though you reload the page, you're going to still see that headline, because when you're testing, you don't want it to change for the same person, right? So if a different person, of course, accesses the sales page, they are going to see a totally different headline. If we go over here, you can see that in a different browser, in a different IP address, you can see that there's a different headline. So say that I buy through this, or say that you buy through this one over here. So what this does is it calculates the conversions and sees which headline is actually converting better. So that's the beauty of the A/B dynamic test. And as you can see here, I've got 4 different headlines. And the nice thing about Split Test Monkey is the upsell, which is really not that expensive at all. They have the thing called Headline-O-Matic. And actually, I've been using this many times already to create headlines. So, if you're worried about headlines and you don't know what headlines to use, you can actually enter a keyword phrase. In this case, I typed in joint ventures and I clicked make headlines, and it gave me a bunch of headlines that I could use. And you can click give me more to get more. Now, obviously these are generated by a computer, so you have to read them, and of course you have to proofread them. So you have headlines here and you have attention grabbers here. And the attention grabbers have numbers, as you can see here. So the top 10, top 11, top 8 deadly uses for joint ventures. So obviously you have to look at that yourself and then proofread it yourself and make sure it makes sense. But it definitely gives you a good starting point, as you can see here. But I basically took the Headline-O-Matic, I created 4 headlines, I made them make sense, and then I plopped them into here. And if you want to check them to see what they look like, we can click that link. And you can see that that is the headline right here. We can click this one here, and we can see that is a totally different headline. And if we click this one here, we see it's green and it says a totally different headline. Now in the advanced training, I'm actually going to show you how you can create, the HTML code, how you can go about getting the headlines, tweaking the font, and of course entering the HTML code into here to make sure that it works. But basically what it does is you have 4 different headlines with 4 different colors, and it rotates it. And every time somebody different comes to the sales page, they see a totally different element. And all it does is, once you're done creating this, all you have to do is insert the code right here. And I'll show you all that in advanced training as well. Now, of course, there are some tutorial videos which will show you step by step on how to use Split Test Monkey. But I'm going to show you some more advanced strategies where those videos do not cover. Now, right here within the campaign, after you created the campaign name, there are 3 different test types. There's Auto Optimizer, which basically optimizes it for you. We have manual, which basically means that nothing happens except for it sends the same amount of traffic to each element, but then you yourself can pick the winner. And then of course, conversion race basically allows you to test these against each other. And you can say something like, I want a minimum of total of 100 conversions. So whoever reaches that first gets the winning. So if element 2, let's say, reaches 100 conversions within 14 days, then it'll automatically choose the winner for conversion race. And Auto Optimizer basically optimizes it for you by using a very high level algorithm to do that for you. And the override element, all that means is you can pause the campaign. And when you pause the campaign, what do you want to happen? Do you want nothing to happen, or do you want a specific element to actually appear? All right. So maybe when you pause the element, and let's say that element 2.1, you can say, all right, well, element 2.1, so I'm going to plop that in there and then press save. And then I don't even have to do anything else. I don't have to change the code. It's all pretty much done within the dashboard. All right. So that is the A/B dynamic split testing. The second split testing is the page URL. So that's the one here. And if we click create new split URL tests, very, very easy, very similar as you can see up here. So all this stuff is similar. The only difference is the URLs. All right. So this URL could be, let's say, a landing page, like one that targets a very specific mindset or frame of mind. And then URL 2 could be a totally different landing page targeting a different mindset within that niche. So maybe what you're trying to figure out is not only which one converts the best, but which one actually converts into sales. Now, the big question is, how do you know if something actually converts as far as list building campaign, or even converts as far as sales go? Well, the way that they do it is simply by going to your campaigns and then, of course, getting the code. Now, the code is you're going to send your traffic to this URL. So if you send straight to here and it's a page test, basically what will happen is different people will see different URLs. Now, the way we know if a conversion has taken place is by placing this code here on the thank you page. So if you are testing, let's say, for example, 2 different URLs, then obviously you would only have one thank you page. And you would send people from both of those URLs to that one thank you page, and you would put this snippet here on that thank you page so that you know which one is actually converting. And of course, I'll go into more depth on that in my advanced training. But that's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much how simple it is. Now, as far as my advanced training goes, in my advanced training, I'm going to talk about what kinds of split tests I would recommend, which types of landing pages I would recommend creating, different ways, different angles. And I'm going to show you from my experience how I go about creating a split test campaign, how you can really dig deeper and attract the right person with the right frame of mind, attract the person who wants to buy, and versus the person who doesn't really want to buy. So I'm going to show you a lot of conversion factors that play into Split Test Monkey. So how do you use Split Test Monkey beyond what it is capable of doing? But with that said, I look forward to seeing you on the inside.